much your fault, eh?
Yeah. See.
Do you always drive this fast?
Jesus. Well, also done more depths to my car than yours.
Mommy.
Go on, ambulance!
Do something.
Hi, you.
Hi, how'd it go?
Yeah, it went well. I'm on my way back now, so I'll tell you about it when I get home.
Okay, well the kids are in bed and dinner's on. James? James? Can you hear me?
You don't have to be in a car to cause a crash. Think.
James?
The moment you know they're driving, kill the conversation.
This motorcyclist never knew what hit him. Over half of motorcyclists killed or seriously injured in London last year were hit by drivers looking but not seeing. Riding defensively gives you more time to see and be seen. Look out for the driver that didn't see you.
This car was travelling at 35 miles per hour. Had it been travelling at 30, it would have stopped here. Think. Slow down.
If you hit me at 40 miles an hour, there's around an 80% chance I'll die. Hit me at 30 and there's around an 80% chance I'll live.
If you're driving in rain, think.
Like most victims, Julie knew her killer. It was her son, who was sitting behind her without a seatbelt. After crushing her to death, he sat back down.
If you're driving in snow, think. If you're driving in icy conditions, think.
If you could have another chance, what would you do differently?
They give me the wrong pizza. I got pineapple on this.
Sick, man.
I didn't order it, did I?
Think. Always wear a seatbelt.
If you're driving in fog, think.
My name is Dr. Gareth Davies. I'm a consultant in emergency medicine and the senior doctor with London's Air Ambulance, a helicopter air ambulance that is dedicated to trauma. Sadly, an everyday part of my job is going to simple road traffic accidents that occur at 30 miles an hour and end up in fatal injuries. What you see in the video is a typical crash that we go to, and that crash comprises of 3 individual crashes. The first, when the vehicle comes into contact with another vehicle and it starts to deform, and it's at this point, although the patient isn't injured, they are going to be in a fraction of a second time. Many people think that once they have a crash they may be able to brace and protect themselves from it, but quite simply, in the beat of a heart, that whole event is over. No one has a chance to prepare themselves, to grip the steering wheel or brace themselves. The second impact, quite simply, is the body coming into contact with the car. That's usually in the form of the head hitting the windscreen or the chest hitting the steering wheel. And it's at this point you get the superficial injuries to the chest, the breaking of ribs, the fracturing of ribs, perhaps the fracturing of the skull and the bruising and wounding of the head. But those aren't the injuries that are fatal. It's the third and final crash which produces the fatal wounds. And those are the injuries where the internal organs, which are incredibly fragile, move forward and come into contact with the broken ribs. They puncture the lungs collapse. With collapsed lungs, patients can't breathe, they get starved of oxygen, which becomes a fatal event. In some cases, the heart comes into contact with the chest, and literally the forces involved will tear the heart or tear the aorta, and that's what you see in the video, the rupturing of the aorta and patients quite simply bleeding to death from it. And in the head, as the head hits the windscreen, again, the brain is coming into contact with the skull, and that produces the bruising of the brain and perhaps even lacerations to the brain, which can result in immediate death or quite simply unconsciousness, and that in itself can lead to death. So there are many ways in a simple crash like this that we go to every day that can result in a fatality, and all of it can be prevented by simply wearing a seatbelt.